It is my hope that with the vaccine now, that will give a different perspective across the threshold to say there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so that the president and the administration and the Republicans can say, yes, we should follow science in a shorter period of time than we've been through already. If we test, trace, treat, wear a mask, social distance, sanitation, recognizing that the hit that this is taking onto communities of color, if we do what is in the HEROES Act in this regard, we'll be ready for the vaccine to have a big effect right from the start. And in light of the vaccine, as we have in the HEROES Act, and perhaps we should do more now because the vaccine is here, it's imminent, that we should be having the resources to make sure that the vaccine is distributed immediately, equitably, so that everyone has access to it. In that regard, though, for that to happen, the president must implement the Defense Production Act so that those companies, those entities that are used to this new technology that both Pfizer and Moderna have used can undertake making this vaccine more available, because we're going to need quite a bit for ourselves and for the world, because unless everyone is safe, as I said, no one is safe. So let's hope that it's time for McConnell's pause to end. We have been working on the omnibus bill, and I thought that would be a segue into this. Let's hope that it is. Again, it is curious to see how they are trying to impede progress. And another misguided act of irresponsibility, Secretary Mnuchin has said he would end many critical emergency lending initiatives at the end of the year. Now, why would they do that? Drawing a rare rebuke from the Fed. Fed rarely speaks out. As the Fed said in its statement, it would prefer the full suite of emergency facilities established during the coronavirus pandemic to continue to serve their important role as a backstop for our still strained and vulnerable economy. The Fed would prefer the full suite of emergency facilities established during the coronavirus pandemic continue to serve their important role as a backdrop for our still strained and vulnerable economy. It's highly unusual for the Fed to comment in that manner on something said by the Secretary of the Treasury. Again, why? Why? Because they want to impede the ability of the next administration to have everything available to them. The situation could not be more dire. The need for action could not be more urgent. Real meaningful relief is desperately needed. No surprise to anyone, perhaps except Mitch McConnell. The families are losing lives and livelihoods. The hospitals are overwhelmed. The frontline workers are risking their lives and losing their jobs. The parents are unable to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads. 17 million children in America are food insecure. And we couldn't even get the food issue into the CARES Act. So we need to get it into the legislation now. Schools are unable to keep students and staff safe. That could happen. All we have to do is follow the science. We know how we can open our economy, open our schools safely, but we have to make a decision to follow science and good governance. Again, this week again, Senator Leader Schumer and I wrote to McConnell demanding that he finally come to the table on a bipartisan, bicameral COVID relief. As we said in the letter that I referenced earlier, the dual public health and economic crisis caused by COVID-19 continue to devastate communities across the country. What is becoming clear to all Americans is that we cannot achieve real economic recovery until we address the expanding public health crisis. The time to act is upon us like never before. The pandemic and the economic recession will not end without our help. Later today, Leader Schumer and I will be visiting President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris. We're discussing the lame duck session, the urgency of crushing the virus and easing the pain of this economic crisis, keeping government open, as I referenced earlier, the omnibus bill. We're pleased that our Moving America Forward legislation that we passed in the summer and Build Back Better of Joe Biden are so compatible for creating good-paying jobs, including through investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, workforce development, clean energy. The list goes on and on.